Hello and welcome to the 1% Solution. Here you'll find tips and tools to help you acquire more physician clients one small step at a time. I'm Dr. Vicki Rackner, your host. This week's tip: accelerate the speed at which you build trust. Doctors trust other doctors. They refer their patients to their colleagues and literally put their patients' lives in that doctor's hands. So it should not be too surprising for you to learn that when I needed a financial advisor, I went to one of my physician colleagues whom I trusted and asked him for a recommendation. That was my due diligence. As far as I was concerned, I had chosen my financial advisor. Imagine if this happened for you. This is the power of trust. Right now, only half of doctors are working with professional financial advisors. And when those who were not were asked why not, they said, well, I haven't found somebody that I can trust. Your practice grows at the speed at which you build trust. Today, let's take a look at some of the ideas of neuroscience and see how you can apply them to build trust more quickly. We're going to take a look at the way in which you connect with prospects in space and time. This is pretty universal with any prospect. We're also going to take a look at how you tweak your message so that you engage doctors most effectively. All other things being equal, you know that you have the greatest chance of building trust when you and the doctor are in the same room at the same time. Maybe your doctor has come to your seminar or is sitting down with a one-on-one consult with you. It's not always easy for you to get knee-to-knee with a doctor, and fortunately there are alternatives. You can make phone calls, you can ask doctors to a live webinar, maybe there's a virtual meeting feed or video conferencing. However, more and more doctors want to consume information on demand. So instead of a phone call, they prefer text or an email. They'd prefer an on-demand webinar to a live webinar. They'd love to be able to watch your videos at 3 a.m. when they finished with the last case. This is actually something I did. And then there's the big question about robotechnology. In the right upper quadrant, you have the greatest chance of building trust most quickly. When you invest in the left lower quadrant, you have the highest efficiency. Further, millennials tend to want on-demand digital content. So if you created videos where you physically got in front of the camera, by the time a prospect met you, they could feel like they had a relationship with you. Probably the most important factor is the way in which you tweak your message for a doctor. Remember, doctors are wired differently than business-minded people, and it all comes down to a relationship with money. Business people make business choices about profitability with their thinking brain, just as doctors make considered recommendations for patients with their thinking brains. However, when it comes to doctors and money, expect that doctors will be using their feeling brains, not their thinking brains. Here are some ideas to help you engage a doctor's feeling brain so that you can help them ascend to their thinking brain. The languages of the feeling brain are pictures and stories. So physically draw pictures. Tell stories that help doctors paint thought pictures. Use Velcro messages. If you've ever seen Velcro, on one side there are loops and on the other side there are hooks. Now, doctors' financial literacy is relatively low, but they know an awful lot about taking care of patients. So use medical metaphors whenever possible. How do I explain the success of my most recent book, The Myth of the Rich Doctor? I invited doctors to treat their money the same way that they would treat their patient. As you've heard me say again and again, if you want to conduct business with doctors, conduct yourself as one. Doctors are committed to service. How about if you launched a conspiracy of service? Activate the law of reciprocity. If I do something nice for you, you will be more likely to do something nice for me. So give gifts. And don't just give one book, give the doctor 3 books and invite him or her to share it with colleagues. Use the power of the platform. Doctors are pack animals. They belong to associations and form informal associations. For example, most of the business of Seattle surgeons was conducted at the Seattle Surgical Society. We would have regular evening meals. Imagine being invited to something like this, and a doctor whom you delighted introduced you to all of the other doctors there. Get a doctor to open the red velvet rope for you. In other words, if you want to meet with the executive director of a medical association, ask your doctor client, do you know this person? May I use your name as I approach him or her? Respect doctors' professional boundaries. Once they have a doctor-patient relationship, it precludes any other relationship. What you can do is write the doctor a gracious thank you note, let the doctor know how he or she has made a difference in your life, and then maybe give them a copy of The Myth of the Rich Doctor, letting them know that you're on a mission to help doctors control their financial destiny. Have awareness that there are key physician opinion leaders and power partners who have trusting relationship with many, many doctors. It's well worth the investment to see how you can serve them. And last tip, begin where you are. You've built trusting relationships with people over the years. They might have a trusting relationship with a doctor, and you might be one phone call away from acquiring that next new doctor prospect. Your practice grows at the speed at which you build trust. What can you do to build trust more effectively? Thanks for stopping by. I hope that you found value in this content. Please feel welcome to pass this video along to your friends, your colleagues, your broker-dealer. If you've been sent this video, please go to www.targetingdoctors and sign up to get our weekly marketing materials. Thanks again for listening. See you next week.